Recently, the GTA 6 trailer just blew up the whole internet, and honestly, I can see why. It's for good reason. This game looks fantastic, and I'm truly excited for it. As someone who has unfortunately never played any of the GTA games yet, I can't comment much about this game specifically. But from my outside perspective, I can see that the hype surrounding this game is kind of dangerous. Honestly, the expectations for this game are just too high. The narrative being passed around to justify all this is that games have been constantly released unfinished these past few years, and Rockstar is taking its time to break the cycle and exonerate the gamers. But here's the thing. While yes, Rockstar is taking their time to release GTA 6 in the best possible way, and that's great, I'm not saying that time isn't important when making a game. It very much is. Video games are never finished. Contrary to popular belief, creating a game is not a drag and drop. It's filled with compromise, headbanging, and bugs, among other things. Consumers get small glimpses of this developer hell from all the Cyberpunk 2077s being released in the past decade, and they cope by thinking that time is all that's needed to fix these games. It stems from the idea that games are just as easy to make as they are to play, as if developers just drag shit into a game world and tell the magic conch to do the rest or something. And so all developers need is a little more time to drag and drop stuff, right? Nope. The truth is that game development is one of the hardest jobs out there because it's an intersection of the most advanced forms of art, computer science, planning, teamwork, production, marketing, and a metric butt ton of other stuff. Video games are also art. Just like how you can always improve upon the minuscule parts of a drawing, adding a mechanic or something to a game is not just a one and done type thing. You can always optimize or improve anything in a game. Honestly, games only ever get released when either the creators don't feel like working on the game anymore or just when the deadline arrives. It's hard for people to believe because the end product of all this blood, sweat, and tears is a work of art that seems so interactive and visual to the player as if it's just an extension of reality. The worst part of all this is that this misconception allows the big old guys that own these big game companies to exploit their employees with not just little to no outside outcry or backlash from consumers, but also no fucking governmental regulation to stop this shit. Because we all know how technically literate the government is.
How do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
All this is to say that people think if given enough time, a game can do anything they fucking imagine, which leads to this reverse scope creep, where people expect more and more out of a game as the development goes on, and the executives at game companies keep promising to fulfill all this increasing bullshit, essentially letting gamers go wild designing the developer's game. And of course, it's the people who actually have to make the game that get screwed over. Sometimes, if the employees are extra unlucky, a game company will preemptively demand a huge scope for a game. And guess what? Gamers will still want more. And guess what next? If the developers do collectively sacrifice their lives and sanity, and this game somehow fulfills its 100-mile-high expectations, when the company inevitably makes a sequel, even though we know bigger games are not always better games, everything needs to be bigger. Now, does that sound familiar? I do appreciate that the majority consensus is to let the people at Rockstar work on the game for as long as they want. But people also need to realize that this won't lead to some sort of magical game that will be universally loved and will do whatever people are dreaming up right now. What all this time should lead to is a GTA 6 that should be properly developed into the GTA 6 that the creators want. The key word here is should. Here we come back to all this hype, and I hope now it's a little more clear why it's concerning. This hype is a mob. A mob that's basically fantasizing shit about this game. So much so that it's inevitable that this game won't deliver on everything the people want. Yes, Rockstar has a track record of releasing awesome games and treating their developers fairly well, but none of these games had such wild expectations. And yes, GTA 6 is going to be an awesome, super awesome, mega awesome game, but it's not going to be the next coming of Jesus. It can't be, because not everyone is going to like this game, just like how not everyone likes a certain painting or movie, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not saying that this game is going to suck. It will most likely be wonderful. All I'm saying is just don't expect it to be everything for everyone, or you will be disappointed
and this game will fail.